Wanna taste my claws?
Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're going to talk about Freddy, the Fenrir. And back in the days when, back before Gaius even came out, like there was a huge topic talking about who is the strongest rare Esper, Drew or Freddy. And most of the players like agree that Drew is better in PvE while Freddy is better in PvP. But I would say they actually are strong in both category. Like I use Drew a lot in PvP and I use Freddy a lot in PvE. So it depends on how you use them both. They have their own advantage and disadvantage. And Freddy deal insane amount of damage, if not because Drew ignores 100% of the enemy's defense if he can kill the target. So that means that if Drew cannot kill his target, then Freddy actually proved to deal even higher damage than Drew. So let's see his skill. The first skill attacks one enemy, damage 120% attack. When Freddy's HP is below 50%, performs a pursuit attack and it deals another 120% attack damage with a bonus of critical rate plus 30% and ignores 20% defense. Now, this is interesting. Like, if you can keep Freddy below 50% HP, like there are a lot of tricks to it. Like you can use a shield to keep him low HP, but still relatively safe to survive. And you can also use a lot of invincibility and standoff and etc. etc. Like there are a lot of ways to keep Freddy HP below 50%, especially nowadays. Like we have a ton of Esper that have a lot of different utility. But Freddy has his own way to stay below 50%. So this is a basic ability that can deal a total of 240% attack damage and it even ignores defense. And with the bonus of critical rate plus 30% for the second attack, like you can guarantee if you get like around my critical rate here, like you can guarantee a critical hit with this because it's gonna reach you to 100% critical rate there. Now the second skill attacks one enemy and damage 210% attack, gains attack up and stand off for 2 turns, and this is insane. The cooldown is only 3 turns, just like any other rare Esper. Like the strength of every single rare Esper in this game is their low cooldown. So if you still haven't got a lot of collection of legendary Esper, and especially if you're still struggling to get those legendary Abilimon and epic Abilimon, then rare Esper, if you invest in them, they can prove to be even stronger than your legendary. And one of the example is actually Freddy. Like I've been carried for a long way using my Freddy. Like all of my legendary actually proved to deal less damage up until I reached the late endgame compared to my Freddy if given the same equipment that I gave to my legendary Esper. Because of this, like the first skill already deal 240% attack damage, the second skill deal 210% attack, and he has his own attack up and standoff, and with the cooldown of 3 turns, he only have a downtime of 1 turn that he doesn't have attack up and stand off. So basically, if he can survive that 1 turn, Freddy is immortal. Like he cannot die as long as the enemy doesn't have this spell, because he has almost a permanent standoff. And with the help of his allies, like if his allies can cover his 1 turn downtime in here, like he can just keep on dealing damage. And because he deal more damage the less health he has, this is the best skill for him, the best buff for him, standoff. Now the third skill attacks one enemy, damage 260% attack. The average number is 240 and this is 260. And on top of that, for every 10% of max HP, Freddy loses damage plus 5%. So because you cannot lose more than 100% HP, like the most you can lose is 99.9% HP. So you can only get this bonus 9 times. So that means that the damage is increased by 45%, and this is total damage, not by his attack. So this is the total damage that he deal. He will deal 45% more, and on top of that, you can get the final damage plus 10% using his resonance here, and it dispels 2 buffs. The only downside from this is that he dispel after he damage. So he attack first, then he will dispel. So he cannot kill enemy that is under invincibility buff, but you can pretty sure make that invincibility buff gone for your next Esper to kill that Esper, that enemy Esper. So this one on top of 260 plus 45, that every 10% maximum HP Freddy losses combined with the standoff that makes him stay in 1 HP for 2 turns and almost permanently, because it only has cooldown of 3 turns, and also the third skill on we have 4 turns cooldown. And then if you give him Avatara, then his first skill actually gonna trigger a lot, because most likely if you can like have 1 HP, most likely all the anime Esper AI will be going to keep attacking your Freddy, and that will trigger a lot of your Avatara, and your Avatara will trigger this pursuit attack, because you obviously gonna be below 50% HP when you are like on your standoff and having like 1 HP. So you're gonna counter attack using 240% attack damage, which ignores 20% defense, and this is the strength of Freddy. He is a beast in this damage department, and the only thing that he doesn't have is the appearance of debuff here. Like, he doesn't help his allies at all, and he doesn't debuff his enemies at all. So he is what I usually call the selfish Esper. Like, if you have this kind of Esper, you need to build a team revolving around him. Like, usually putting like someone like Oli, putting like someone like Changji, someone like who else, like Abigailian, who can gives him shield to prolong his life, etc. Like, you're gonna build your Esper revolving him. Like, we're gonna see a lot of Esper that does something like this, like mainly someone like Narmer, mainly someone like who else, Ophelia, and then someone like who is the punching guy, this guy Lewis, like, etc. All those Espers are considered selfish Esper, like, because they don't give utility to his teammates at all. So if they don't deal the highest damage possible in that entire fight, they are useless. They don't have any other benefit aside from dealing damage. But boy, oh boy, Freddy does insanely well in that department. So let's go into the growth. Obviously, advancement, you should go all the way to level 60 if you do use Freddy. Like, he is, I'm telling you, like, he is like gonna be your best investment if you do use him a lot. But in a PvE, because he doesn't give any debuff and he doesn't buff his allies and all, like, over time he gonna lose his utility, like his strength, because you're gonna replace him with other more useful Esper that can, on top of dealing damage, also assist their allies into dealing more damage. But for early game investment, like, he gonna be your strongest hard-hitting single target damage dealer. Now, that's why a lot of players like comparing him with Drew, because Drew is going to deal like slightly less damage than him, but he proved to be far more useful, because that in PvE he can cut down the time for turn-based time, because he can kill 3 enemies at once in a single turn, and then he also gives defense down to his target, increasing his allies damage further to that target. Now, that's why you should just choose. If you do not have enough material, like, just choose Esper that have more utility. But if you do have extra material and you don't really have that many damage dealer, legendary or epic Esper, then you can go with Freddy. Like, I guarantee you that he's gonna deal insane amount of damage for your lineup, no matter what lineup he is in. Now going to his resonance, as usual, stats is very much welcome for a damage dealer. And then the second resonance, when the target's HP is below 50% damage plus 10%, this increases his damage even further. Now the fourth one, after casting a non-basic ability, the next basic ability is damage plus 20%. And you already know his basic ability deal insane amount of damage, and his other skill have a low cooldown, so this gonna trigger a lot of the time. So this is really good. Now going to his ascension, the first one attack is good. The defense is kind of like, too bad. Like, I prefer to have this as HP, but you cannot choose on that. Now the third one gives the standoff, is the one that gives the standoff. So you really do need to take this one. Now the fourth one increases his attack, the fifth one increases his critical rate. So you get an extra 10% here. You don't need to invest too much on your equipment, on top of like this one already give you another 30% critical rate. But the thing is that you still need to have comfortable level of critical rate here, because your third skill and your second skill doesn't have the critical rate up. So you don't really want to let Freddy sitting on like 40% critical rate here and just relying on this bonus 30%. You're not gonna crit on the second and the third skill that way. So the last one increase his HP. This is the only downside for a damage dealer. Like the last ascension that gives the highest bonus gives HP to Freddy. Although it gives him like more survivability, but you don't really need the extra HP, because even though it makes his 50% line HP here, the 50% makes you like, have higher HP, so you can survive longer below 50% HP, but you gonna fight a stronger and stronger enemies anyway, and you're gonna rely more on your standoff rather than your basic HP number here. So that's why this is quite a letdown a little bit. So that's why the debate is still going on whether he is like, the best or not. So going to his rival rune, like this is a PvP rune. Like this is obviously really good for him, like giving him the nether set, because he will constantly being on low health. So because he is constantly being on low health, and PvP you cannot really rely on this almost permanent standoff, because on that one turn down time, the enemy will be able to kill you. And we know that nowadays there are a ton of Esper that can dispel. Like long time ago, there are not that many Esper that can dispel, so he was like reign supreme there. But nowadays we have a ton of Esper that can dispel, so he no longer that useful in PvP. Although if you can see the enemy's lineup first, if you don't see any dispeller in the enemy's lineup, you can pretty much still bring your Freddy and he will wreck the enemy's win Esper, especially against Hyde. Like he was like the strongest choice against Hyde back then. Like his third skill will be able to kill Hyde in one shot. Now going the Mui one, they give Avatara, obviously, like that's the obvious choice. Like he cannot just use any other Mui equipment. Like you should go with Avatara. Like if you choose any other else, like what are you thinking? Like this is the strongest basic skill ever for this Esper. Now going into his Divinate, the basic stats, obviously this is like pretty much welcome. Always gonna be useful the more attack you have. When the bearer has attack up, claw of grits damage plus 15%. So attack up, he can give attack up to himself, and this one is the claw of grit, further increasing the damage of his basic ability. So again, nowadays we also have Liam and Valerie combo that specializing in pulling allies into dealing more basic ability damage. And also there are a lot of Espers that call for a support attack, calling other Esper to use their basic ability. So he can also be in that lineup, pairing with Liam and Valeria and just dealing single target damage. So in a boss battle, you can still pretty much use Freddy in dealing insane amount of damage, especially pairing up with Liam. Liam gonna call him a lot in dealing his basic ability damage, although you need to keep him below 50%, but it's quite alright to keep him down with just shield. Like if you can line up your your allies with only surviving using shield, then this gonna pretty much trigger all the time. So that's a trick into using Freddy. Like if you can just, it's exactly the same strategy as how you actually use Oli, Changji, and Jiang Juli combo. Like they are all the what I call like Esper that have their own special lineup, because they want to actually stay within low health in order to maximize their damage output. Like Jiang Juli, obviously you do want him at low HP. Changji will be able to swap HP for his low HP allies, and Oli will be able to give invincibility to his low HP allies, and all of them combined will prove to support Freddy, or the other way around. Like Freddy is going to be a nice addition in that kind of lineup. So if anyway in the future, like if we have a PvE content where all the Esper are constantly at low health, like it's, and every other RPG games always have this kind of states, like everybody will stay at low health, and if you don't do something like a requirement within that turn, you're gonna die. But if you fulfill that requirement, you're gonna survive for another turn while still within a very low health threshold. Like there are a lot of RPGs who's using this trick, and we're just gonna wait and see when will Dislyte put them into their content. So if that content ever comes out, then obviously you still need to remember about Freddy. Like he gonna deal insane amount of damage when he is very low in health. So as usual, I'm gonna use this equipment, and I'm gonna compare his damage using Brian. Although Brian's damage is not gonna be that much because it's a totally different equipment. But so we're gonna just see like how much damage they gonna deal. So as usual, the benchmark of my Brian using my Intisar equipment, and then we're gonna use Freddy with my PvE Freddy equipment here, and after that we're gonna give Brian's equipment to Freddy and see how much damage they gonna deal. Let's go. So this is Brian, but I do want to hit like neutral enemy. Like, let's see, like because he is Wind and Freddy is Inferno. Like it's not gonna be good if we hit a different enemy. So I'm gonna hit a Wind here. Wait, actually the one that has a similar HP is this two guy. So I'm gonna hit. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit this guy here. Let's go. I'm hoping that Brian gonna get a boost from Elemental Wood here, so that we can compare with him. But yeah, let's just hit the guy with the same element. Let's go. Blam! 14,000 there. Oh, we are hitting a level 100. Okay, that's wrong. We're gonna hit the level 60. So as to maintain the integrity of the test, you know, like we always gonna hit the same level as ours. So you don't see like in some episodes you're gonna see like low number, and in some other episode you're gonna see high number, like just because the enemy's level is different. It's not good. Gonna need to see the critical damage number. Let's go, Hablam, 39,000. Yeah, usually it flows around like 39,000 to 41,000 for Brian. Like if you have seen all the episodes so far, like he always deal that exact amount of number. So now let's see how much damage Freddy can deal. Kablam, 38,000. Yeah. So, but that one is hitting like a different, different tanky enemies. Like this one, it has more defense and HP, 780. 600. Oh no, actually they have the same number. Okay. So yeah. So that's how much. Oh yeah. I forgot to mention that because Freddy didn't hit someone with low HP when he is low HP, so he only deals 260%, while Brian is still dealing like 300% attack here. So yeah, that's the reason. And also, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that the best part about Freddy again is also because his basic attack is at 1200, just like Brian here, 1200 there. So even though like we've seen in the previous episode, like Tang Yun can deal like 300% attack damage, but because his basic attack is at 1100, he still deal lower damage than Brian. So that's why Freddy with his high basic attack number here, he can deal even more damage than Brian when he is at low health. So we already see that he deals 38,000 damage. So let's see if I can actually like, you know, let Freddy go at very low health. Maybe can he survive getting hit by himself? Let's just see. Yeah, that's basic ability damage. It's already deal 15,000 damage. Oh my god. Now I'm gonna try to get him at low health. Let's see. Yeah, this is good. Getting stunned. Okay. Okay. Now he is he is dead. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna waste time. That. Look at that. He already killed someone with just his basic attack. Oh, that. Yeah, you can see his pursuit attack there. Look. See? That's why I told you, like, his damage is insane. Look at that. Yeah. This is why Freddy can be a really strong Esper. Like, because when he is low at low health, that's what he is doing to his enemies. And because of his bonus 20% HP from his Ascension, you can see that he survived quite a long time when he is like below 50% HP. And this is 60 level versus 60 versus 60. So look at it, 59,000 damage. You see, that's what he deals when he is at low health. So yeah, that's why like not many players can see his potential, because he needs to be at low health. But when you are still very early in the game, you cannot survive for that long against a strong enemies. Like you need to level up your Freddy. So when you are still at very low level Freddy, obviously when you are below 50% HP, like another 1 or 2 hits from your enemy will already kill your Freddy. So not many players can see his potential up to that much damage. And hence, only if you fully invest on him and put him in like full equipment here and actually fight in that manner, then you will actually see his full potential. And we haven't even seen him with attack up and standoff, and you've already seen the first ability and you've already seen the third ability, and that's how much damage he can deal. That is insane. So yeah, that's Freddy. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.